Okay, if everything is set correctly, I should be live right now. Let me check. What's happening? What's happening? Okay, on Twitter, I am live. On YouTube, I need to check. Okay, give me a minute to figure this out. Why why am I not able to see YouTube stream? Studio content live. Okay, okay, that's great. Let me just message. Okay, now that's let me start it. Okay, everything is up. Now let me just tweet that I'm live, and hopefully we and then we can start live now. Join in. If you if you want to watch on YouTube, please go. No, here is the link. Okay, that's good. We will start with this. Let me just do something else. Now, first thing is, we'll recap what we did yesterday, because yesterday's stream is now private, so you won't be able to see that. So I just want to recap the whole thing. Yesterday we added a handler for withdraw event. So supplied and supply and withdraw, these are the two events when you are supplying the asset to the protocol. Supplying the asset to the protocol, and we were tracking that supply. Everything is same. If you saw the supply event stream, you already know the logic. But only thing we changed in both supply and no. Uh, if you know the logic, everything is correct. Just one thing that needs to be changed in supply event was on behalf of. So let me tell you why. Because when someone calls the supply event, that that user or address of this argument on behalf of argument, uh, one of those get a tokens, but on behalf of address always get the a token, and that's why we change this from user to on behalf of. On user can be a bot or a platform or something like that, but on behalf of is the address who is getting the a token. That means they are the ones who are providing the tokens to the protocol. That's why we change this. We kept this as it is because why change everything? Next, in withdraw event, we are changing this and this to user. So in withdraw event, there are two addresses, which is user and two. So who is holding the a token? That's the main question. In this scenario, user is holding the a token, and two is the address where tokens are going. We don't care about where tokens are going. It's it's not relevant to us right now. That's why I added user here. Next, as they're withdrawing it, we are just gonna subtract each value from whatever is set in the DB. So you see, for supply by asset, we are changing this. For supply by asset snapshot, we are subtracting it, and supply by user, we are subtracting it. All the logic is same. Just thing that changes is this one. Okay. Next, what's next? Yeah, that's the recap. Now today's task is to figure out what events are there which we can use to track loans. Loans like active loans, liquidated loans, repaid loans, all kind of loans we need to track. Okay. Now that we recap is done, we'll start with this. Let me make this bigger. Yeah. Okay. This is not working. Good. Now let's go to Aave docs. And smart contracts pool. Pool is the only contract that we care about. We also have L2 pool, but I think everything is similar, or at least okay. Everything is same. Some things might change. Let's see. Borrow, no, initialize, permit, then withdraw and borrow. Okay, you see, this is the difference. Here there are multiple arguments, and on L2 pools I didn't see any. Oh, it's not only for borrow, it's also for supply. Is there initial? No, there is no initialize method here. Okay, everything is bytes 32 arg. And yeah, okay, we'll think about this afterwards. Right now, let's focus on Ethereum mainnet where pool contract is deployed. Next, what's next? We need to go to borrow. No, hide this. Yeah, these are the all these are these all are the events that are being emitted from pool, or at least from this particular contract address. We have borrow, we have flash loan. We don't know what deficit covered and deficit created is. Don't know that. We already know liquidation call. Next, mint, minted to treasury. Don't know about that. Position manager, we can ignore that. Repay. This is an interesting one. Then reserve data updated, used as collateral, disabled, enabled, upgraded, user set, withdraw. We have done supply. We have written handlers for supply, withdraw, liquidation call. Now we'll focus on borrow and repay. So those two are the main events to track for for loans. We also need to put liquidation call somewhere in there, because loan loan can be closed by two ways, which is repaying the loan by yourself or forcing that loan to get repaid, which is liquidation. So when we say we are tracking loans, liquidations will be there. And if we are tracking active loans, then we need to focus on liquidation so that the active loan that is being tracked will be closed in our indexer. That's the idea. Let me check something. Okay, on people are watching on Twitter. Also, I need to change this. For some reason, my Twitter doesn't show me the chat window. It just says loading, and I know I've been talking about this for few streams that my Twitter is not working, but I don't know why. If people are watching, maybe they are saying hi, or maybe they are not, but I don't know. Anyway, let's. We already know this. Yesterday, no, not yesterday. Forget about that. Let's talk about borrow and repay. Borrow. Okay. Let's see. Borrow has first. Let's see first argument. Reserve. That's the name of the asset. Then user. Then on behalf of, amount, interest rate mode, borrow rate, and referral. Referral, ignore that. I don't think they are active. We need to see what is borrow rate, interest mode rate. We already know the amount. Next, on behalf of and user. We know one of this is like the bot, and other is actual address that is backing the loan with their a token. And We are still confused about the borrow rate. So let's go to documentation, which is always very helpful. No, we need to find function borrow. Okay, in the function argument we can pass asset, amount, interest rate mode, referral code, and address on behalf of address. These two are very simple. They are not, they are self-explanatory. Then interest rate mode and on behalf of, that's the part we need to understand. Allow users to borrow, let me yeah allow users to borrow a specific amount of reserve underlying asset. So specific amount of reserve underlying asset, provided the borrower has already supplied enough collateral or they were given enough allowance by a credit delegator on the corresponding debt token. Variable variable debt token, for example, if user borrows 100 USDC by passing their own address as on behalf of, they'll receive 100 USDC into their wallet and 100 variable debt tokens. Okay, if on behalf of is not same as message.sender, then on behalf of must have supplied enough collateral via supply and have delegated credit to message.sender via approved delegation. Okay, so my assumption is the address that is taking loan is on behalf of, so will that's the address which will be associated with the active loan. And variable debt token, that's a weird thing. I don't know what that is. So they might be tracking interest rate using those variable debt token, but let's see. Now interest rate mode should always be passed as value to variable rate mode. Okay, so that value will always remain the same. That value will always remain 2. We don't have to think about it. Now, let me search for variable debt tokens and what they are in the documentation. Variable debt tokens, variable debt tokens, tokenized borrow position used throughout the Aave protocol. Most of the standard EA, most of the standard EIP 2020/ERC20 methods are disabled since debt token are non-transferable. Yeah. So whoever is holding the debt is the debt taker, as we already talked. Now, next thing we should figure out is the repay function. Repay, first two arguments are self-explanatory. Most of them are. Okay. When a borrowed amount on a specific reserve, burning the equivalent debt tokens owned, sorry, repays a borrowed amount on specific reserve, burning the equivalent debt tokens owned. For example, if a user repays 100 USD and 100 variable debt tokens owned by on behalf of address will be burned. Okay, when repaying the pool contract, you must have allowance to spend funds on behalf of message.sender for at least the amount for the asset you are repaying. This can be done via standard ERC20 approve method on underlying token contract. Okay, that's understandable. One thing I didn't understand is how they are calculating how much to pay. Okay, that might be interesting to learn. So one question is, let me think about it. When you are repaying it, you can pass maximum u into, as you see here, the amount to repay expressed in way units. Use type u into 56 max in order to repay the whole debt. Only when the repayment is not executed on behalf of third party. In a case of repayments on behalf of another user, it's recommended to send an amount slightly higher than current borrowed amount. So what happens? Okay, this doesn't necessarily mean repay event. Let's shorten the. Do you see repay event? This reserve user repair amount and use a tokens. So even if they want to pay the whole amount, it doesn't necessarily mean amount argument in the event repay will be UN 256 max. Contract might have done some calculation and they are just emitting the correct amount. And we can take difference between amount amount for which no the loan amount and then the repaid amount. That difference will be the interest. That's my assumption. We should check the contracts. Yeah, GitHub, and we'll say repay, then borrow logic execute repay. That's a now we know where to go. Libraries, then logic, then borrow logic, and find execute repay. Okay, so we need to go and find the event first. Yeah, this payback amount. Now let's find where payback amount calculation is done. Allows user to repay with A tokens without leaving dust of interest. user debt scaled, get V token balance. V token is variable in what was the name? Variable interest. No, debt token. Yeah, variable debt token. That's the name. So user debt is, yeah, in the event, as I said, that amount is paid amount plus interest. But only if, okay, we have to check if all positions are closed, then only we can understand what's happening. How much interest is getting paid on particular loan. Because if you take like $100 of debt and pay $90, our logic doesn't work. Our logic says negative 90 in interest. But it's not negative 90. It's like 89 in what? Principal and dollar in interest. So that's weird. But another thing that is there is we have two tokens, right? Variable debt token and the reserve token. Both are ERC20. When you are taking the debt, I think variable debt token and reserve token is one to one. As time goes on, variable debt token value goes up. So if we have a way to track variable debt token and how many tokens, how many reserve tokens are sent to burn X number of variable debt token, we can figure out the interest. What I, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, or no. Am I explaining that clearly? That's what I'm trying to ask. Because that's the only way we can figure out interest without, yeah, that's the only way we can figure out the interest on the paid off debt. Yeah, that's the only way. There is no other way to go about it. And we can do it. I don't think it's that difficult. We should be able to do it. Okay, now doubts are creeping up if our logic is correct or not. And if they are paying 100% of the debt, then there is no issue. We can just take difference between those and everything should work automatically. Okay, let's start at least writing. Ri- Writing the handler. Okay, let's copy this and let's copy our events, which is repay, which are repay and borrow. These two. These are the two events that we will be using. Sorry, that we will be indexing. Should we also track variable debt token? Because that's the only way we can figure out interest. Also, if our logic is correct, then only we can figure out the interest. Now, think about how we can. Sorry, let me think about the question. Okay, I'm back now. Go to YouTube, Twitter. Okay, good. I was saying how we can track balance of debt token, and is there a way to do that? Pool variable, no, very variable debt token, stable debt, variable debt address. Oh, I guess each debt has stable, no, variable address. What was this? Reserve data type. Get get reserve variable debt token. Okay, tracking that won't be an issue. As if you see here, reserve data updated, liquidity, stable borrow rate, variable borrow rate. Oh, they just give borrow rates. Okay, that's good. Should we check that on Etherscan? Yeah, this is the address. Now we go to contract, read as proxy, and we should have something like get reserve data, and we'll put asset, right? Can we get any asset? Let's say die Ethereum address. Okay, or we can just run our indexer pnpm dev. Docker is not running, so let me start that. Now it's up. Docker is up and running. Let's see if this starts. Yes, it started. Now let me just check how many events are indexed. Let's stop this anyway. Console log supply by user is not there. There is nothing. Okay, for now just comment this out because we don't have a handler. I don't know how it will behave. Let's see. If you see few numbers here like 5,000 or 10,000, we can go to what is this, GraphQL playground, and see what kind of assets are there. Okay, good. Yes, now we have something to use. Put asset query. Okay, great. What's the name? Get reserve data. Control F. Get reserve. Oh no, not on. Yeah, on pool, not L2 pool. Get reserve data, and it returns this type. Okay, we need to use Foundry, not Foundry, Cast. Now we can copy this. Oh no, it's already there. We just need to check the number. So 1, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Current borrow, no, current variable borrow rate, current stable borrow rate. Yeah, I need better structured some. Should I paste it somewhere here? Source, no, not source. Event handlers go at the bottom. I'm just gonna paste that whole thing, and hopefully I'll have something. Okay, this is this configuration value. I'm assuming that, so don't quote me on it. Let me just calculate, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, did I calculate it wrong? No, I don't think so. Can we get, let's find variable rate. Interest rate mode, flash loans. Okay, I am missing something. There should be a way. No, is there a way to just see the rate? I don't care about anything else. Or we can put this in ChatGPT and ask it what what everything means. I'll do that. Okay, cost. What is the variable borrow rate? Current variable and stable borrow rate for that asset from given data. Now let's copy the address, open new Etherscan, see what this is. It's wrapped ether. Okay, aave.com, open app. Can we see wrapped ether? This is just ether. WETH. No. Oh, we can search it by this. Variable interest rate will fluctuate based on market condition. Variable rate token. It says 0.61. Okay, should we query it again? Something changed, but not the part that I want. Okay, we need to figure out where this 6.1 is coming from. Reserve factor is percentage of interest which goes to a collector contract that is controlled by Aave governance to promote ecosystem growth. Okay, so 15% of the interest, yeah, 15% of the interest goes there. Liquidation penalty 1%, 1%. Borrowable interest rate strategy. Utilization is okay. Borrow rate increases as utilization increases. Okay, that's great. The variable borrow rate expressed in array current stable borrow rate. If we see this value that we got, then let me see. Okay, did I miss something here? Let me copy everything again. Now we'll do this again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Oh, am I missing something? No, everything is correct. Okay, there is something lacking here that I don't understand, maybe. But anyway, we have a way to track borrow and supply rate. Interest rate, borrow rate, yeah. We have borrow rate. Okay, let's just write the handler and see how many people are borrowing and how many people are repaying. Okay, we won't be able to finish it, but we should have something. Let's run pnpm code gen. Now Aave L1 dot borrow handler. Next is Aave dot repay dot handler async. Okay, this is done. We need to have something here. Okay, I didn't see this part. Do we have? I added this comments. Does that affect the schema? That was the question I wanted to see. I wanted to get answer for. Liquidations. Docs, yeah. Docs root. We have supply by snapshot. Let's find that. Supply snapshot. Then go and type supply precision. Okay, there should be a way. Oh, supply USD. No. Let's check supply by asset. Supply by asset type. Okay, there should be a way to add descriptions. So if someone that is not me, like a third party is using my indexer, they should be able to see the description. I hope you can see this in the background, right? When I googled it, they said if you add comments, Hasura will pick this up directly. But right now, I don't think that feature is enabled in Hyperindex, or I may be wrong. I need to cross check that with the team. So yeah. Okay. I'll also put this on Envio Discord and ask the team like if we can do this, because this is very useful. If a third party is using it, having a description for each field, yeah, I have to do that manually, but maybe that's useful. Okay, cool. um, Hide this. There is no need for this part. Now we need to figure out schema for the entity. Okay, cool. Type active loans. We don't need by user because in the ID it will be that active loan by user, and we should add a comment here. ID should be a combination of yeah ID should be combination of user address, asset, chain ID. Now one thing is also we need to change this to borrow rate plus borrow rate. Not sure if this is correct. Now next concern is what happens when you do two loans but they are at different rates. So we have borrow rate, right? Borrow rate argument is in the event. Yeah, borrow rate is in the event. So we can't just say this particular ID, which is combination of user asset, no, user address, asset address, and chain ID, is at a single borrow rate. That will create new issues where we are not tracking the interest correctly. Let me think about it, what we should do. And tomorrow I'll have some idea how to go about it. I have to think it over and see what happens. Okay, maybe borrow rate, adding borrow rate to the ID will help us. But when we want to close it, we don't know what position is closed. That's a new issue where in the repay or in the liquidation we don't have this, the borrow rate. Okay, yeah, I really have to think about it. I can't come up with the solution right now, and we are almost out of time, as you can see. So yeah, final few things. If you are new to this, I do these streams daily about blockchain data indexing by picking up a interesting protocol. Okay, right now it's Aave because the biggest the biggest lending market on chain. That's why. If you are watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. I want subscriber number to go up. If you are watching on Twitter, same thing. Follow me there. Go to switch the platform. If you are watching on Twitter, go to YouTube and subscribe. If you are watching on YouTube, go on Twitter and subscribe. It helps me a lot. And don't forget to check Envio Envio's site or documentation, and also join the Discord. So that's the yeah, that's about it. I hope you like the stream. If not, let me know what I can improve in the Twitter DMs or in the YouTube comments. I'll read both of them and get back to you because I want to improve these streams. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day. See you guys tomorrow, same time.